All right, all right. All right. Let's get into this a bit. What is good, peeps? Come on, Cam here as well. We are live on Twitch and YouTube. We're also in Decentraland here. I thought it was fitting to be here at Genesis Plaza. But yeah, let's get into it. I have something written here. This is the full proposal. The description of a proposal is pretty limiting. I mean, 3,200 characters for a writer is just not a lot. So I needed more. And I had something written out, and when I pasted it into the description, I was like, oh, this will be good. Where am I at? Yeah. And this is the short version. I think I'm at 9,600 characters here. And it was just too much. About three times the amount. Oh, wow. This has 29,000. Okay, yeah, way more. But that's a few versions. But yeah. But yeah, for those who know me in Decentraland, I am Bleace. Let me retweet this out here. And for those who know me in Decentraland, I am Bleace. My real name is Ryan Lanham, a multimedia specialist with a rich background in film, video editing, and social media content creation. I have a bachelor's degree in multimedia film and video from Florida Atlantic University and an extensive career spanning now 14 years, including 5 years as an associate producer, video editor for CBS Sports. My journey has been a continuous effort to improve and grow. My venture into Decentraland over the past 2 years has not only been a continuation of this journey, but has also offered a new frontier for applying my skills and passion. My history with Decentraland is a narrative of this passion and innovation, from publishing 2 wearables that reflected my creative vision, and something that I do IRL and have been doing for years, creating clothing. I like to create yoga clothing. I like to write books. And so I brought in my book into the virtual space, one of my novels. I plan on bringing the second novel as well. And then for this second wearable, bringing in yoga leggings and yoga shorts. And I've been creating those for years. I really love creating yoga clothes. It's just a passion for mine. I don't even myself wear them. It's for other people. I just enjoy what they look like, and I think they're beautiful. And to be able to bring those into this space was very powerful for me and just very inspiring. And it's really just hardened my commitment to this digital space. And going through Wellness Week really solidified that for me. That was I guess like a test run for this, how it worked out to be, but it wasn't something that was necessarily planned. I wanted to do that event. It meant a lot to me, and I've seen other events, and myself didn't feel comfortable in applying to those. I felt very confident and comfortable in applying for Wellness Week. And I think the beauty of those 3 days, the experiences that we shared, it made me very emotional. And it's something that just continued to resonate with me, and I continue to think about it. And going forward with this and realizing that I do have a passion for this, and I do believe in this technology and the power that it has, that goes beyond a 2D space, you know, and where this technology is going, and feeling that we are so early in this that it's only going to become more prevalent. And now seeing Apple getting on board with that, and them having the power to shape that narrative and to really get it out there, where I'm starting to see people where I have felt like I have talked to a blank wall for 2 years, and now seeing on the timeline, it's like, where were you people at when I've been talking about this? You know, I've been putting out these blog posts, I've been putting out these YouTube videos, and now Apple, sorry, let me take a drink of water. Now Apple drops this, and the narrative just shifted, and it was just there's just this moment now where it's like, okay, spatial computing is here. It's here to stay. Been building on this, and I'm not gonna know unless I ask. Can I, you know, be a part of this full time? You saw for, you know, the event was 3 days, but there were days leading up to that where it was full time of getting ready for that event and creating images and videos and overnight renders, the technical crashes, the stuff that happens that doesn't come on the end screen there, but there was a lot that went into that event. And the MetaParty Vibes mesmerizing environment, that was a moment for me, and getting the privilege to do that and work alongside other community members, to shout out Dogman and Rube Cube from House of Tang, and shout out Tang Poco for, you know, being someone that I could be like, hey, you know, this was a learning experience for me, and I had so many questions leading into it, and the community members in Decentraland being so helpful and sharing their knowledge and their experience, it meant a lot. And to want to bring that in my way to this community and bring my experience to this like full time, and to do that, you know, we got to keep the lights on. You've got to keep the lights on, and that's ultimately what this is going to do. And as what has been acknowledged, if you've seen the proposal on Decentraland in the comments, you know, I really did cut what an hourly rate for me, and it's like, what bare bones do I need to keep this going? Because I want to prove myself as well. Like, this is my first proposal, and that's how I've approached this, is like, I have to prove myself in this, and you have to weigh that and say like, okay, I'll take a hit, I'll prove myself in this. And so I'm bringing that kind of mentality to this, of like, I've got to prove myself. Like, it doesn't matter what I've done. Like, the 14 years, like, I say that to say I have built this work ethic over a long period of time, and it doesn't happen overnight. I have sacrificed a lot. I've sacrificed time with loved ones. I've sacrificed some fun times of saying, no, I can't do that. I have to do this. And when you get to a certain point with that, you know, you don't just say yes to just everything. Like, there has to be that why question, and that's big for me. You know, I woke up today. Why did I wake up today? What's my reason for being here? Okay, I think about all the time, what am I going to leave behind? That's why I tattooed it on my chest. Before I can truly rest in peace, I must express every piece of my soul. It's tattooed right here on my chest. It's a poem I wrote, and it's there so that I can look in the mirror and Bleace is on the other side. Okay? So that's what I have tattooed right here. And everything I do is on that, right? So if I am going to say, I, Bleace, am going to do this, it's saying this is my last day. And I treat it that way. I know it's tacky to say carpe diem, but I do. And I'm like, I can't sleep at night if I haven't spent at least, whether it's a minute, an hour, something that I can say, that is the last thing that ever happened. If I don't wake up tomorrow, whatever I did that day, however small, if it's one word, if I can just inspire one person to write one word, that's going to live on. That's that energy that I focus on, okay? And so when I do that, and when I answer that question, when I take on something like this, it's saying I'm going to devote myself to this, and I will give my all to this. I will put my name on this work that I'll do, and I want to help others. That's what it is about. This isn't about plastering my logo on this content and having some kind of ulterior motive for this. It's like, no, I want to create this video and have that community member post it from their account so that they can show what they're doing in this space, as I realize that not everyone can have this, what I've invested, over these years. It's taken 14 years to be able to have what I have. And not only, sacrificing of going with family and stuff, it's sacrificing financially. It's not being broke, it's being invested. And I have invested every extra dollar I've gotten back into Bleace because that is my life's passion. And again, was hardened after my heart surgery, in that moment. And this is now almost, 4 years ago, December 2020, going through an experience like that will forever change how you view life. And going into that experience, I was already, 10 years deep into this carpe diem, like I want everything to do with Bleace. I set out on this journey. I said I graduated from Florida Atlantic University with a bachelor's degree. Well, I graduated there magna cum laude, almost perfect 4.0. The only B I received was in Spanish, funny enough. But I wanted perfection when I went there. And that was not always the case. That was learned. When I graduated high school, it was not that I had no intention of going to college. But I had a dream, funny as it is, but that's where Bleace started. That's where the word Bleace started. It was a dream that I had one night, and it is what became my 2 novels that I have. And if you've never written a novel, which I have behind me here on the bookshelf, if you've never written a novel, that takes a lot of self-discipline to get that done. And I've put out 2, and I'm working on a 3rd. But it takes a lot of self-discipline to see those through, to get those edited, and to rewrite and rewrite and write and rewrite. I've written these books like 4 times each. It's a lot of work to see that through. And I had that dream. I followed it, and I continued to follow it. And it was hardened when I went through heart surgery. And then, in 2021, coming across this virtual space, and remembering my first steps in Decentraland, October 2021, the Steve Aoki, like taking a picture in front of that poster. It was just momentous, and seeing live music in Decentraland as someone who has always gone to concerts. I love to go to concerts, and to feel that energy in a virtual space and to upload my images in there and experience them in a 3D space. I was like, this is so far out. And to be able to connect with people like Nyanki, you know, in Japan, and connect with them through art. And then, you know, the Pisces energy. I'm a Pi baby, you know, shout out Albert Einstein, you know, a huge inspiration for me. And talk about work ethic and sacrifice. A lot was learned from him. Finding out, you know, my birthday aligning with his at a very young age, it just sent me down, like reading his biography and wanting to know everything about him. And talking about Bleace, I know that's like how I'm known now, again, which was something that occurred after this heart surgery, and it just, the timing of it, you know, the heart surgery and undergoing that and feeling like, you know, and I essentially did, you know, I was dead on that, you know, when they put you under, you're out, you know, you're out, and waking up from that. And I've talked to psychologists and stuff, you know, afterwards, because I was dealing with severe panic attacks and I had to talk to somebody and get prescribed stuff. But going through that and then coming across this space where everyone started calling me Bleace, you know, it was like this identity kind of shift, and no one really like called me Ryan anyway. It was always, and like I signed, my legal pseudonym is R. Lanham, because even in high school it was like people called me Lanham. They never really called me Ryan anyway, so it was easy to just be R. Lanham. But being called Bleace, but for me, you know, it's a noun. And if you've read my novels, like I explicitly write about this, is it's a noun. It's the energy you share, whether it be writing, painting. It's the energy. That's the greatest currency there is in this universe. And it, again, aligns with how I approach each day. What energy am I going to give out? And granted, it's an everyday practice, and you're going to slip up and you're not going to give out that great energy, but come back to that center and say, like, this is the energy I want. And if I can just impart, this is totally off topic, but just always try to end the day good with people you care about. Always try to end good and with people you care about. Life is too short. So as you love yourself, and you love yourself first before you can love anybody else. Love yourself, love what you do, and whatever you have to do to keep the lights on. Like I said, if it's one word, 1 minute, 1 hour, just one moment in the day that you are conscious that this could be your last day, to leave something behind, write something down, a painting, just create something. We are the only species on this planet that does that. Think about that. That's what separates us, is our frontal cortex, is our parts of our brain that we can think of creations. We can have these dreams and bring them to life. And how rare that is in the universe. And like looking out at the vastness of the universe shouldn't make us feel small. It should make us feel part of something bigger than ourselves. And that's how I view this virtual space, is that it is vast, but it doesn't make me feel small as a creator. it makes me feel more infinite in this space, because you're only limited by your imagination. And I've said it time and time again, the metaverse is only limited by your imagination, and the metaverse is anything you bring to it. Whatever energy you bring to it, that's what it's going to flourish in there. And further highlighting my involvement, Bleace Day last year was a landmark event. I always try to do something new for Bleace Day, and Bleace Day is the day that I published my first novel, which started June 23rd, 2019. And the new thing that we did last year was hosting a virtual party at Dollhouse, publishing my first digital wearable. And then we did an 11/11 party, a guided meditation with Colorful Meta, who voiced her first meditation, hosted at Dollhouse. And it was an all-day event. We were live for like 14 hours that day. We did guided meditation at 11:11 in the morning and 11:11 at night. It was great. And all through this, and all through these 2 years, we've been creating content. And if you've been following, we've been posting on TikTok, posting on YouTube, and putting out hours of content, hours of streamed content on Twitch, and really trying to bring this experience to people who have never heard of Decentraland. And so many of my Facebook friends, I know I've lost a lot of them in this space. Okay. I have over 1,000 friends on Facebook, and I have lost them all, almost all on this. And I know I'm not alone. We've had conversations about that. I still post on there. I'm still active because they have been my longtime supporters. I've had Facebook since 2009. I created it when I originally left Michigan. I wanted to stay in touch with family and friends. That was the only reason I created it. So I thought about deleting it at one point, but I just have kept it, and it's great because it brings up memories and stuff. But I've tried to just put in front of them this content. And it's through this history of creating content that several pressing questions have emerged. Why is Decentraland not more widely recognized? When they see this content, on TikTok especially, their first guess, if they're leaving a comment, their first guess is not the name Decentraland. The name is Sandbox. Is that Roblox? It's not Decentraland. And when I say it Decentraland, they don't even know what that is. They never heard of it. And why has engagement and attention retention gone down year over year? Attendance not as high at the music festival, for example. And why doesn't Decentraland have a top 10 music performance in terms of number of active users and active attendees? I saw this list, I think it was shared by the Metaverse account on Instagram, and they had the top 10 list of music events, and they put the platform that it was on. I didn't see Decentraland. Decentraland has had Travis Scott, they've had Bjork, just some big names. And the Bjork experience, that was transformative for me, of seeing the rain come down. I was taken away at that performance. But why not? Why aren't they top 10? Why aren't they up there? Let's get them up there. Let's get them trending when these events are happening. When I see in a Roblox event, or if one of those platforms goes down, they're trending almost instantly, top 10. I want to see that for Decentraland. And so seeing these questions and creating this content for the past couple years, how can I answer? Solution-based mindset. It's anyone can point to a problem and say, oh, there's a problem, throw up my hands, okay? And it's not to say that there aren't other problems. Every metaverse platform has its pros and cons. I have explored a lot. Again, if you've been following my content, I've explored Decentraland, I've explored Monoverse, Spatial, Hyperfi, Hubs by Mozilla, Crypto Voxels. I've explored them, and they all have something to offer. And there's a strong competition for attention. And again, we're coming back to attention retention. And what I want to help with is creating content for users in Decentraland. I'm not going to be plastering my logo on it. I will open up my schedule. Let's schedule a time that works for you. And we're all around the world, but I know. I've been to the festivals. I know UTC time. I've been there, done that. If it has to be 1 a.m, 3 a.m, 5 a.m, the only time there ever is and ever will be is right now. That's right now. Right here, right now. That's it. And that's infinite. Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Sundays, those don't actually exist. Those are words we have made up and given them meaning. There is right now, baby, right now. That is it. And it's something that you can't attain. You can only harness and put all of your focus into this right now. And so when you do that, and when you seize every single moment and see it as right now, I'm telling you, when I open up my calendar, it is open. And whenever I agree to be somewhere, I have a long history of showing up, because showing up is free. Showing up is a soft skill that is the most important. That is number one. The best ability is availability. That's it. Show up. And so many in the Web3 space I see, and a lot of these, what are called rugs or whatever, it's people that just stop showing up. I've invested in NFT projects, and what do? They stop showing up. It doesn't cost anything to show up. And so the only thing I bring up of the 14 years is that I have all of that time to show of me showing up. And a long track record of people that will say, what did he do? He showed up. If I was sick at CBS Sports, I can count one time where I had to call out. One time. I showed up sick. I showed up on holidays. Again, all of this stuff is made up. I don't recognize holidays. I don't recognize any of it. Because why? Because there's right fucking now. And there's right fucking now, and that's it. And that's infinite. Mondays don't exist. Tuesdays don't exist. Wednesdays don't exist. I'll say it again because it gets said too much. Oh, TGIF, happy weekend. What does that mean? It doesn't mean anything. We give it a meaning. What I believe in is right now. The next moment is not certain, is not there, okay? And so when I say I'm going to open up my calendar, it is all a bunch of right nows. And it will be first come, first serve, and a priority on people who don't have a means of creating this content. I want to focus on people that are in Decentraland, but they're running on their computer. They don't know how to record it. They don't know how to edit this video. They may not have the software or the skills to know how to edit that video and put that out there. That is going to be my priority of those community members that are putting in the work. But what good is good technology? What good is some of these creations if people don't know about it? Let's shed some light on them and give them these resources. Give them the resources of my time, of the technology that I've invested in over the years. I want to open that up, because the more content we can get out there, the better it is for everybody involved. It's going to be better for that creator, that artist, getting their stuff out there in ways that they previously had not. This is going to allow me to apply my skills and passion to this platform. Give me a second here. I have some points that I wanna hit on. Okay, and one of these is from a comment in the proposal from Tang Poco, who made a great point. And this is, quote, Decentraland has a ton of great events, but when an event is over, it's done. The only way it lives on is through social media. As someone who has worked tirelessly in the space for over 2 years, I know how difficult it is to maintain social media while managing an active venue schedule. Being able to rely on someone to share all the great things we are doing on social media, as well as report weekly stats and make specific recommendations for improvements, is very important and has tremendous value. Bleace was social media manager for Dollhouse for the better part of the Dollhouse in 2023. Dolls initially had no presence on social media beyond Twitter X, and I asked Bleace to help expand our presence on other channels. Using just our in-world content, he made hundreds of videos for YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, both long-form content and short-form content. Furthermore, he started the Dollhouse Kick channel, bringing us to affiliate status just as the grant ended. End quote. And what I really like about this quote is, when an event is over, it's over. Again, what good is a great event, if no one else that gets to see even clips of it, and there is a difference of being there and experience it. We all know that, but let's highlight that event and get that short form content. And a lot of people overthink this content. It's like, no, just show them a glimpse of it, just getting it in front of them in different unique ways. And in creating this content, I really have found what resonates. It's been really fun to see what resonates and how certain emotes and fashion can work with a song that will be trending. It's been a lot of fun putting that together. And so this initiative focuses on producing vertical content that community members can post on their own accounts. It will feature the Decentraland logo to enhance brand visibility and recognition. And that is a big part of this. So it's going to be multifaceted in the ways that this positively impacts Decentraland. Not only is it going to get brand recognition, it's also going to help these creators, these community members, in getting their stuff out. I'm not going to be plastering my logo. You are not even going to know that I created it, and that's how I want it. Like, I don't put my brand, like, I'm kind of like anti-logo in that way, where if you see a design of mine, I don't put my logo on it. My logo isn't anywhere on it, because I know and you know who created that. And I love what PB said during Wellness Week. He said he saw a piece and he's like, without seeing whose it was, I knew it was yours. And I'm like, that's it. That's what I go for right there. I want anyone to see a piece. I don't need to put Bleace on it because I know I created that. And that's all that's important. I put that energy out there. And that's what's important. If you want to copy paste that, go ahead, my friend. Go ahead, because you're copy and pasting that energy that I've given out to the universe. The universe knows I put that energy out there. You know I put that energy out there. And everyone else who sees that, whether you try to claim it as your own or not, it is energy, my friend, and that can't be copy and pasted. The power of short form and live stream content on social media platforms like TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram is undeniable at this point. Yet, a cursory search of hashtag Decentraland on these platforms reveals a concerning trend, an overwhelming presence of negative content. A lot of it, on the mana price, you'll see a lot of mana price stuff, especially on TikTok. That gets a lot of views, a lot of engagement. But overall, there's a lot of negative posts, and negative posts get shared on average about 10 to 20 times more than positive messaging. Positive messaging get 10 to 20 times less the engagement, less comments, less shares than negative. So you're already, just from a standpoint, you're already trying to go uphill against negative content. As it is, okay? You add on to that of number of posts versus, number of negative posts versus number of positive posts, and you are really tipping the scales. You are really tipping the scales. There's a mountain to climb here, okay? And it's going to take a group, and it's going to take more posts. If you really believe in what you're doing here, show it, tell people it. Let's tell your story. And if you don't want to use TikTok, that's great. Get on YouTube. Let's get you on YouTube Shorts. Get on Instagram. And when I go to IRL events, I'm here in New York City now. If you would have told me a year ago I would be here, I wouldn't have believed you. This was never part of the plan. I know it was part of Colorful's plan, and she's a big part of why we're here. She's following her dreams. She's right now in Jersey visiting her mom, but she's a big part of why we're here. Really made it happen. Again, work ethic, and I can speak to her work ethic. She could speak to mine, but together we really do inspire each other to keep going. And in that, this proposal aims to counteract this negative perception on the timeline by dedicating 40 to 60 hours of my week to the creation of positive, engaging, and informative short-form content in collaboration with Decentraland community members. Again, where they're posting from their account, and the only logo that's on it is Decentraland. The core objective of this proposal is twofold. Firstly, to significantly increase the volume of positive, brand-aligned content related to Decentraland across major social media platforms, improving public perception of the community. Secondly, to empower community members by providing them with the tools and platform to share their stories and experiences, creating a more vibrant, engaged, and positive online community. We're going to create structured content creation through a process that I've really honed down these past couple of years, especially in the last year, as I was given an opportunity to be able to devote more time. Grateful to Tang Poco for giving me that opportunity, and to do that on a part-time basis. This is now taking that a step further, and extending that to as many community members as I can. Again, calendar is going to be open to all. We're going to create content tailored to not only entertain, but to inform and introduce viewers to Decentraland and all of the unique offerings, the emotes, the wearables, the builds, the bringing in your art, your photography, whatever it may be that what barbecues, whatever you can think of, Jimmy John's, ordering from DoorDash, right from Decentraland. There's just so many opportunities that I feel that are not being told on the timeline as much as they could be. So the essence of this proposal is not just about creating content. It's about creating opportunities, enabling voices, and democratizing access to these resources that may be out of reach for many. Again, I'm going to be prioritizing those that don't have the means to do this themselves. And with that, I do want to open up to some questions. I thank you all for tuning into this. If you have any questions, I'm open. I'm going to bring people up. I have a Twitter space going as well. We're live right now on Twitch and YouTube. I just wanted to get this out there to as many people as I could to just express myself, where I stand, why I'm doing this, and just really just flesh out what I'm trying to do here. This proposal represents more than just a content creation project. It's a step towards realizing the full potential of Decentraland as a leading digital community that fosters innovation, inclusivity, and creativity. It's about making a collective commitment to not only enhancing the platform's visibility, but also ensuring that every member of the community has the opportunity to contribute to and benefit from our shared digital future. And I pledge transparency and accountability throughout this journey. I will be live streaming a lot of it while I'm recording locally. I will be in Discord sharing my screen, so all of these hours will be accounted for. There will be full transparency in that regard. You will know that I am putting in these hours and more. And all of these numbers too that I put in this proposal, those are all very low end. I did put in the comments here of this proposal of everything I put, from the hours to the number of people reached and the number of posts that will be done. Those are all the lowest of the low numbers. I know a lot in proposals, people will really highball things and really exaggerate where you're like, there's no way you're gonna hit that. I go another approach, and I know when you compare sometimes, but it's like, okay, that's them. Let's see what the final result is. That's what I'm about. And so if I'm gonna, project something, and I didn't even really like to do that, but it asked me to do that, I will always project low in something that I know I will hit, and I know I'm gonna fucking blow out of the fucking water, okay? And I know I'm gonna blow those fucking numbers out of the water, because that to me is a challenge to say I'm gonna do probably 3 to 5 times that, okay? When I say I'm gonna reach 60,000 people, you know how low of a number that is to what I see that I'm gonna do in these 6 months? Again, I am going to prove myself. And again, I am saying I am taking a cut here. And as Jared pointed out, of like the hours worked versus how much compensation there is, I am taking a low number in that, because I want to prove the value here, and I want to have DAO members say like, okay, this is how much we spent, and look at the end result here. You're gonna see that value, and I want to bring that. And so I hope to prove myself to each and every one of you in this. And I thank you all. Thank you, Clammy. Really appreciate you being here. I see you, Fancy. Hi, Fancy. Mariana. I'm gonna extend anyone who wants to come up. By all means, hold on, let me invite anybody that wants to speak. Crypt de jour. Hope I'm saying that right. We've got colorful Proteus. How you doing, Proteus? Fancy's an OG friend in the space. of our fun MetaParty Vibes spaces. Sorry, I'm pulling up the audio for the... Who's come up? Crypto de jour. Crypt de jour. How you doing? Happy Tuesday.
To hear you talking for a while, Bleace. I didn't realize the depth of your project, and I'll be see if I can keep on the pulse as you keep moving forward. I can definitely hear your passion for it, and it sounds really cool. I got to drop to another space, but I'm glad I got to be here and hear your overview and some of your backstory and the why behind your here, why you're here, and so it was really cool. I'm glad I got a chance to come up before I had to drop, but yeah, I'll definitely be seeing you around in the spaces and talk to you again soon.
Hey, appreciate you listening in. Yeah, and very, very passionate. And it was just hardened too over Wellness Week that we just had some really profound moments during those 3 days. And it really, I guess, solidified why I'm here and inspired me to want to keep going in this space and to go further and just devote myself full time to it. I've been, at most part time into the space, but that really for me just solidified why I'm here and the effect that a build that we put together for that space could have that effect on others, and for them to feel that energy was really powerful and really, really inspiring. You're in Decentraland. You're spending time in Decentraland.
I've been in there, but not really. I can't really say I've set up my own space when it got popular. What you were saying resonated with me because I remember like the day that the first time I went into Decentraland, and I was like, this is something kind of old and reinvented into feeling new and on blockchain with that aspect to it. And I felt definitely like this is really impactful right here. And I went and bought some mana and, was super excited about it. So I definitely remember the first time hitting Decentraland. That's, gosh, had to have been a long time ago now. But, and then I wasn't in it for a while. And then I've joined a few people's spaces that they've done like some performances over time here and there, but not, haven't really dug in as quite as, deep, obviously, as a lot of people have, where they're in there every Friday. I see some people in the timeline, they're in there doing their performances every Friday and stuff, and I totally respect it, but I just haven't tapped in that deeply, to the Decentraland side yet. But so do you build in Decentraland, or what
Yeah.
what are you doing there? Sorry, I kind of missed some of the outcome of like what your art is and what you do in Decentraland.
Yeah. For the Wellness Week, I worked with Dogman and Root Cube on building this space. So it was a team effort, and what I did in it was I live streamed and made some animations, did some guided meditations with AI voice and AI music, and just some video animations that I had created. And I have published 2 wearables, some leggings, and I brought my book into it. And so I create IRL clothing, and I've done that for years, and that's a big passion of mine, and have brought that into the space. And I've written a couple novels, and so I've brought my novels, my first novel, into Decentraland as a wearable. And so these are both wearables now, and so it was really just cool to bring that in there into the space. So I've done wearables and video animations, live streaming, so events like that. And then the ceiling of this space has one of my designs on it, and so I was able to bring that art piece in it.
as well. And then we hosted some virtual concerts there with DJ Gucci Toe and DJ Henny. Thanks to the Dollhouse for collaborating on those events. But yeah, we throw events and just have a good time, group meetups.
Yeah, that's really cool, and I know how much energy it takes to run these spaces or to dig heels into this new technology, and like, yeah, you know, so it's much appreciated, and then, you know, forging the ground and being a creator out here, and really cool stuff, man, really cool stuff. Yeah, I'm glad I got a chance to talk to you for a second here.
Cool. Yeah, I appreciate you coming
So
through.
what's the next you know, kind of big performance, or what's the next event that's coming up that's worth sharing, if you have any thing that you can share right now?
Yeah, so I can pull up Dollhouse. They're having Henny Wednesday tomorrow. I would definitely recommend that. Henny is awesome and puts an awesome performance. And then they're doing Gucci Toe is on every Thursday, so they do concerts every Wednesday, Thursday. Oh yeah, here's the tweet.
Okay, sick. So what do I expect? So I bring my headphones. I log in. What do I just kind of expect to, while I'm there? Just the virtual performance and chat with the people in the room? And
yeah, so it's not a like a voice chat, but like you can text chat, and there'll be a bunch of people there. I think like 40-50 people come every week. It's pretty good turnout. And they'll also be streaming on Kick. They also stream on Kick. And you could also check that out as well if you can't make it in world. So, but yeah, if you can make it into Decentraland, and you'll see a place called Dollhouse when you hit Explore, and you just jump in.
Okay, yeah, beautiful. I'll have to, because I would like to do some more of these sort of Web3, you know, Decentraland performances that I know there's a ton of them going that I have missed out on. I've been to a couple, like I said, but this would be a nice way to tap in.
Yeah, it's super dope, and yeah, DCL community is just incredible, and we have a lot of fun. We have a lot of fun at those events, and yeah, I see some friends here in World. Actually, I see Fancy, who's in the space. We're kind of sitting in World right now. I'm just sitting at the main entrance of Decentraland. I just wanted to be in here for a visual here. I see Sleepy Waifu, but yeah, it's a very active community. And again, it's like what this initiative is for me is recording this content and getting it out, you know, to people that don't know what's going on in Decentraland and haven't heard of these content, or like what all that we're doing here. Some people have even called like Decentraland a game, and it's like, no, this is a virtual space where people can build and show their art and talk about their art, and, you know, shout out Sinful, who interviews artists. He's kind of like our Lex Friedman of Decentraland, interviewing all these artists who are in and out of the space. It's really cool. Oh, yeah, here we go. We've got Clammy here. Shout out Clammy and JK47. But yeah, just a lot. What's up, Clammy? How you doing?
Yo, what's up, Bleace? How you been?
Doing all right, man. I saw you, I think, Monday night. Yeah, last night at Beyond the NFT.
Yeah, I was hanging out. You know, I was doing some sculpting in Blender, and I was just like, I had to take a break. I was just sculpting this little shitty character for just too long. So I was like, all right, let me just chill out with the homies. So I just hopped into Decentraland and just saw who was on, because I've been kind of MIA. You know, been working on my project, and it's just been, really, really intense. But, just listening to you, I wanted to just say, like, thanks for, sharing some just light on kind of what you've been going through. I think that is actually pretty impactful. Like, I didn't realize like all the stuff that you've gone through in the past. And, I think that really resonates with a lot of people. And, you've been here for a lot of us too. So, but no, I mean, just to go on kind of what you were talking about. Yeah, I've been working on a project and I've been doing it the past year, like silently, and no one really knows. And it's actually a platform for the community. And I don't know, it's just, it's super important. And I think it's really important for the community. And I see what you're doing. And I just think for somebody like me too, like that would benefit somebody like me who's doing something for the community, who's doesn't really know how to get it out there, or just making different content. Like there's so much. There's a 3-person team, and I'm wearing so many hats at one time. Like if you could take one hat off of that plate, like that would be so awesome. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, and I'm sure there's a whole lot of us working on stuff, and not everyone has a chance to really talk about it because they're neck deep in, their personal life, their work life, trying to get their project off the ground. So I just wanted to come in and just say, I really respect what you're doing and, show my support.
Yeah, man, I tell you're cooking, and there's only so many things you can do, and I respect that. You got your head down and working on something. That's really awesome, and I can't wait to see what you're working with. And yeah, exactly, and that's a big part of this, because, and what I was saying of like how this is multifaceted, like this is going to help the creator, and it's going to help Decentraland as a whole, and like to get your story out and to get what you're working on out there, and show people in different ways, and really work with you on what you want to showcase and how you want to showcase it, and put some unique videos together and video editing. And yeah, I'm really proficient video editor. I've been doing that for a long time, and have a lot of history with all these apps, and realizing that too, of like not a lot of people, it's like, oh, what do you use? Or like, okay, I can kind of tell you, how to do it, but there's just certain things that I've put in my 10,000 hours. Like you're gonna have to put in your 10,000 hours to really like do this. So it's like, yeah, I could tell you, but it's like, how like your grandmother may tell you a recipe, and like it's like I do it exactly what's on the recipe, but it still does not come out how she cooks it. Like she gave me her recipe book, and I've tried like to make certain things. I'm like, this does not taste like, there's something else that they do, but they don't even realize that they do. It's like, yeah, she told me the recipe, but it still doesn't taste that way. But so yeah, it's like bringing that that 10,000 hours into something like that. And I know you've done so much with the community and have been a part of it for so long. And I was also talking in the comments too, someone from Romania, they not having the tech to like record this, and not having like the software to then edit it, I'm like, you're exactly who I'm trying to help here. Like and so yeah, I've had people reach out too, of like saying, this is such a great idea, like this is going to like I can definitely see how this is going to help me. So that feels really good. And oh, we just hit 9 o'clock, but yeah, I was holding this space if anybody had any further questions on it, and I'm trying to be as transparent as possible and answer any questions, any like flaws you think I see with this. But I just really think, and like again, I'm not going to be plastering my logo off this. Like I want to see good content out there. I want yours to get out there. I want whatever Clan Me is working on, I want to help tell that story and help you get out that content, because you're trying to wear all these hats, you're trying to do all these things, and then like an artist in 2024, like we're required to do so many things. It's like, no, I just want to do this one thing. Like, and I have really loved like being a part of like a team and trying to like just narrow my focus, because when you do that, like when you're trying to wear so many hats, like it just causes so much anxiety, and it can be freezing, and you get like whatever writer's block or whatever like video editing block, because you're just trying to take on too many different things and you're just juggling too many things. But yeah, I was, I guess, going to keep this to an hour. If anybody wanted to say anything, any last words, feel free. Clammy, if you had anything else. Proteus gave you the follow. Fancy, appreciate you being here. JK, appreciate you being here. Colorful, no Colorful's in Jersey, but Nyanke, I see you in the Twitch chat. Appreciate you, Nyanke, and appreciate your support. Appreciate all of those who have voted yes. Vote what you think is best. I can just say I'm going to prove myself in this. I am going to give my all given the opportunity. I will be showing up. I will be transparent. I will be showing receipts. I will be showing stats. And I look to just hit the ground running on this. And if you have any further questions, my DMs are open. But yeah, appreciate everyone. And take care.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Thank you, Nyanke, for hanging out. What's up, Seven? What's up, Seven? You know, I saw an old piece of yours. I went today in the old Hubs Mozilla gallery today for the first time in probably over a year. And appreciate you, Father Finn. Appreciate you, Father Finn, on YouTube. But yeah, let me put this on. Slow the graphics down here. It's just a lot. Got a lot running on this thing. But yeah. Very passionate. I thought that went well. Just talking about this first proposal and what I look to do with it, given the opportunity. And yeah, appreciate everyone who's tuned in, and look to really prove myself with this, and show what I can do. But yeah, I appreciate everyone who's voted yes. And, you know, you can't get what you don't, necessarily ask. And like, if I wanted to do this full time, then I had to see. I had to just see. And whatever will be. I'm still going to be in Decentraland. I'm not going to be on the timeline fudding it. This is not about that at all. I'll still be coming to the concerts and still hanging out with people, so that's not going to change for me. It's just a matter, again, I got to keep the lights on, and this will allow me to be full-time in here, and I'd be very excited to do this full-time, and to see how many different community members I can help in this. It'll be a lot of fun. Right now, it feels good to have double yes votes than no votes, although the no votes are outweighing it because of how the DAO works, and that's just that. It's just really one big whale that voted no. But if I end this with more yes votes than no votes, I'll feel pretty good about it. I do hope we get over the acceptance threshold and get that. And hold on, let me because I know that I will be able to do a lot. Hey, Father Finn. What? With a tier 1 for 6 months in a row? Thank you. Yo, Father Finn, thank you so much, man. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your vote. I appreciate you so much, Father Finn. 6 months. I mean, that's a day 1. Wow, Father Finn, thank you, man. That truly means a lot. That allows us to keep going and to keep bringing experiences to people, bringing this energy. Okay, let me do this real quick. Yo, I appreciate you, man. Out here making my day. Appreciate you, Father Finn. Okay. And there is the link to the proposal if you want to check that out. I wasn't going to just necessarily bring it up on stream on this one, but yeah, there it is. Creating collaborative short form live stream long form content for community members. I went through it extensively, but yeah, let's go, Father Finn. And I hope to be able to have more time to work with people like Father Finn and do some fun video shoots and photo shoots and do some posts for whatever you have building. I know Clammy's building, so looking forward to seeing what he's got cooking. Would love to help with that. And that's exactly what I'm talking about. So that felt good to hear that from Clammy. And yeah, I would love to help tell the story and make some content for what he's got cooking. And all community members. And Nyanki, I saw you in World too. So that was good to see you in World. Rocking the MetaParty vibes. Let's go. Oh, Clammy, I'm just seeing your tweets. I wasn't even checking noties. Oh man, I appreciate that, Clammy. Yeah, you know, letting it all out there. Say what you have to say while you have the ability to say it. That's what I was getting at with all of that. It was say what you have to say while you have the ability to say it. That's what I am all about, all the time. And is that always going to be positive? No. It's going to be positive and negative. You have to just let it out there, but be conscious of the energy that you're putting out there. One of the hardest truths I've ever had to face is no other person made me angry. I made myself angry through that person. You know, whatever they had said to me, that doesn't have to affect me in any way. Like, I allow that to affect me in a certain way. It's water off a duck's back. It is just water off a duck's back. Whatever they say, just let it pass by. And I appreciate Jared too, and his honesty in this. It does mean a lot. And I know he put forth the freeze, and he has Decentraland's best interest in mind. And his honesty in this, and him coming around on this proposal. Given the recent comment that this would go through because it was proposed before the freeze, and given that information of then supporting this proposal and voting yes on it, that vote really stands out to me a lot and means a lot to me. And he's being completely honest, and I completely appreciate that. And I wouldn't, like, I want to hear what, you know, why some of these people are voting no on this. And the no votes I've seen are people I don't know, and so they don't know me, and they may just see this proposal and just like, no, like, who are you? I've been to a lot of events. I have recently been more active on Discord, but I am not a native on Discord and find the UI very confusing. So where a lot of these conversations are being had, I try my best. You try to be omnipresent. You know, I try to be as present as I can on Twitter as well. So some of these no votes, I don't know who they are. Hey, M. Appreciate you, friend. Welcome. Appreciate your support as always, you and Doc. Yeah, we were opening up. We were opening up and being vulnerable, because vulnerability is strength. And I, you know, used to be ashamed of being emotional, and I grew up being picked on for being emotional, because men are supposed to be tough. You know, I grew up a wrestler. That's another thing that people don't know, since we're sharing who I am. I wrestled for 13 years, from kindergarten through high school. We went to state. We were in the state championship my senior year. We were the best team my school's ever had. It was 2008. We were undefeated that year. The only time we lost was in the state championship to Hesperia. But that, and I should have said that earlier too. When it comes to work ethic, it comes from being a wrestler, and it comes from growing up on a farm. I grew up better part of my childhood living with my grandfather, and he was very old school, and when I say very old school, he was very old school. But I grew up on a farm, and I couldn't even watch television while the sun was out. While the sun was out, I had to be outside, and that was rain, snow, sunshine. My ass was outside. And I rode horses. I was on the equestrian team. I was around cattle, but it instilled in me a strong work ethic, because as a lot of kids were just out playing, from 11 to the time I left Michigan, I was every summer working for my grandfather and on the farm. And I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And that work ethic of the farm and wrestling is carried on into my approach to art, into my approach to what I do with video editing, and the passion I bring. And when I say that I'm gonna, do something, I put my head down, and there's no distraction of, oh, I'm gonna go do this, or I'm not gonna show up, or I won't be there. Nah, that doesn't happen with me. Oh, it's gonna fall on a holiday. Oh, it's gonna fall on a Friday. Those things don't exist. There is right now. Friday doesn't exist. I know I said it earlier in the stream, but if you're just tuning in, Mondays don't exist, Tuesdays don't exist, Wednesdays don't exist, Thursdays don't exist. We have made them up. We have made up weekends. We have made them up. We've made up the calendar. The calendar through human history has changed multiple times. Cleopatra gave her calendar to Julius Caesar, the 365-day calendar, and the Egyptians kept it to 360, and then they would have 5 days off for celebrations at the end. So we just made it up. And yes, it does take 365 days to go around the sun. But I'm saying the Mondays, the Tuesdays, the holidays, the this day, the Valentine's Day, that's all made up. I don't recognize any of it. What I recognize is right now. Because right now is so infinite that if you were to think of all of the movement that is going on in this moment, if you were to look in the night sky and see the stars in the sky, a large percentage of those stars in the sky don't even exist right now. It just took that long for the light to get here. They don't actually exist right now. If you were actually to see where they are physically located, you would see that they no longer exist. All that exists is the light that they emitted 1 billion years ago, because it took 1 billion years to reach our eye. And that is the energy that I'm talking about. That's the light that I want to shine through. I want my light to be seen 1 billion years after I'm no longer here. And so when I think of the infiniteness of how many things are happening right now outside our galaxy, we're one of 1 trillion galaxies, okay? Think of how much movement that is. Think of how much movement is just on our planet alone, okay? And we're currently a 1-planet species. We may be the last generation to say that. Soon, it will be people traveling off of this planet. We, as a species, are nomadic. We have always traveled. We're one of very few species that have been on every single continent on this planet, because we have an inherent ability and want and drive to always go further. We are going into space. And in saying that, we are going into this virtual space, and we're going to need to live longer. 100 years is not a long time. We need to be able to live a lot longer, and we're going to be able to do that through technology, because we're going to have to travel hundreds of thousands of years into space, and stay alive for that long. It's not a thing of AI versus organic. What does that mean? It's all within the universe. It's all created within the universe. You can call it artificial versus organic all you want. It's still within the universe. It's still chemicals that are found within the universe. It's not something that's created outside of this universe. And really, we have this concept of I creating, and it's like, you aren't creating, the universe is creating through you. Have a little humility in that. Have a little veneration for the universe. Have a little sense of wonder in the universe. And stop alienating what computers are. Oh, they're outside. Oh, they're going to take over this and that. It's like, oh, we're so fearful. You should be fearful of humans. Look at the fuck what we're doing. We're the only species that kills for sport. That's what you should be worried about. We should worry about how technology can help improve human behavior and help make us better. We have a duty and an obligation, and I feel that as a creator, of not just trying to create art that is distracting for the sense of and for the sole purpose of just distracting. Okay, that's a commercial. No, there needs to be something underlying there, something that inspires you to recognize your innate creativity that stems all the way back to the first person leaving that cave painting. That still lives on today. Does that cave painter still live today? No, but that fucking painting on that wall is still there, and you can still go visit it. That's what's left there. And there's the Socratic method. There's Socrates. And then there's Plato. And Plato wrote extensively. Socrates didn't write. He thought writing was dead. He wanted that in person. He wanted to grab a hold of you and ask you, what do you think virtue is? That's what Socrates would do. And he drove everyone nuts, and they killed him. They made him drink hemlock. Because he was constantly berating people with questions. But it's that energy. And you think about that. The Socrates would impact so many people and never wrote anything. But people wrote about him. And that lives on. That was over 2,000 years ago. And I think we can also, and all of this ties to a virtual identity, all of this ties into a virtual landscape, the virtual space of content creation, of an event being done, but having that digital identity that is in these apps, whatever app it is, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, those are just various platforms that your social self can live through, and to approach that with a narratological standpoint and telling a story in your posts, having a sense of value to bring that. So that way and your physical self isn't here, we can kind of change this kind of view of, what is living and what is a continuation of that. There's living in different ways. There's different perspectives of this. When I read certain books, I'm like, I feel that author's presence, even though Charles Dickens may have died a couple hundred years ago. But his books and his characters, and he lives through his characters, and that's how I see my characters too, as like my children, and like I will live through them, and I will live through my art when I'm no longer physically here. And I know a lot of people, it's like the great fear you don't think about, you try to distract yourself with whatever. I face that, and I think when you die, and I think everyone living should have died once, kind of changes your perspective a little bit, that you have faced that ultimate fear. And once you see that, and I've done this a couple times in my life, at least the perspective of it. So I've had 2 head concussions, and then I had the heart surgery. And each one of them, there is this white space. When I had my head concussion, I forgot everything. I forgot my name. I didn't know who my mom was. I blanked out. I didn't know where I was. And that continued for hours, that I didn't know. I couldn't recall my name. And the first one that happened, I was really young. It was my first day of 5th grade. And it really altered me, of my view of everything. I'm like, how could something happen where I literally forgot my name, forgot everything about me? I didn't know who my mom was, and she's staring me in the face when she got to the school. I didn't know who she was. And I'm like, how could an event like that, like in a moment, boom, I fell off the playground, hit the back of my head, boom, forgot everything. And I was kind of too young to like fully process it, but as I, went to college, and when I first went to college, I studied psychology because I wanted it to make me a better writer. That was ultimately why I got an associate's in psychology, is I wanted to better understand my characters and to write better characters. So I studied psychology, and I was really into like criminal psychology and just read as much as I could into the subject. Then I switched my major when I got my bachelor's into film and video, because I wanted to bring my novels to life and realize that there was another step beyond just writing the novels. And the novels were the reason why I went to school in the first place. So it's all been a step. And it's all towards this ultimate thesis of Bleace. And it's that energy. And energy cannot be created or destroyed, only transformed. And we're here as a part of this grander universe. And the funny thing is, like, you think like adults have it figured out, or like certain people have this figured out. But even the best theories that we have of physics, of math, the closest we are, there's no 100% perfection. Even the theory of gravity isn't 100%. Everything is just a little off of 100%. The closest we have is theory of relativity, is the closest we have to perfection in terms of a theoretical approach and a mathematical approach to explaining nature. Nothing is, and even Plato leaves with a lot of questions. He never fully answers his theory of forms. and where he was going. Everything's kind of a bit of a mystery, and there's always going to be questions left unanswered. But the closer we can get to that, and the broader that we can think, I think humanity will be the better. Instead of looking at this technology as something that is making us less human, in viewing this as something that makes us more human. Would you think less of a person because they use a wheel? A wheel is technology. This pen is technology. And I liked that documentary we recently watched about Y2K, and the old lady talks about people fearing the telephone. They didn't want the telephone in their house. They didn't want electricity in their house. They thought it was the devil. So there's always been these instances of fear. But I think we've saw with Wellness Week especially, and hearing the sentiment around it, of people feeling that energy, that calming energy, of wanting to have a space that people can come to. And to extend that to others in the community of whatever energy they want to give out, whatever creation that they're working on within the space, to highlight that, and to especially focus on those that don't have the means to do this. Democratizing access to this technology that might be out of reach for so many, so that they too can share their energy. But yeah, this was all extra. I was just gonna go for an hour, but I saw friends were in it, and just appreciate Clammy for sharing the stream. Thank you, M. Thank you, Father Finn. 6 months in a row, my man. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone who's voted on this and who has supported me. Whether this passes or not, I am going to take a snapshot of those who did, and I want to reach out and just thank you. Just, it means a lot. It truly does. I say all the time, it is free to support. A like, a comment, a share does go a long way. I wish my good vibes could keep the lights on. You know, this proposal, again, is the bare minimum for 6 months that could keep the lights on for me, and I will prove myself. And I just hope to prove myself to the community in multiple ways, and I would be excited to see how many different community members I can help. And I will leave it at that. If you do have any questions, drop them in the chat. I'll wait a minute. But if you do have any questions, definitely drop them in the chat. I'm here for it. And we had some in the Twitter space, but that was a new user to I guess they've been in Decentraland maybe once, but looking to get into it more. So that was kind of the only questions I received there. But any pushback on this, I understand, and some may not know me, so that's kind of been the no votes, or definitely people I don't know, and they don't know me, but I would like to get to know them and just share my story with them, and my why, my passion, that I'm in this, that I'm not just doing this just to do it. I don't do that at this point. I don't do that. I don't take on the client just to take on the client. I take on the client because I like what they're doing and I align with what they're doing. I've been freelancing for a long time, and I get a lot of, proposals, or I'm giving out proposals, but if I'm giving it out, then it's something I'm passionate about. But yeah, I think this was good. I think this was good. I feel good about it. This was good to get off my chest. And I'll just leave it at that. You know, I'll leave it at that. And we'll see what happens. But thank you for hanging out and considering this proposal and believing in me. And yeah, let's go further together. Say what you have to say while you have the ability to say it. That's all. Let me leave you with something here. Pick up a writing utensil. Let the universe know how you feel it. Pick up a brush. Let the universe know how you see it. Pick up an instrument. Let the universe know how you hear it. Pick up a camera. Let the universe know how you perceive it. Pick up yourself. Let the universe know how you can help it. Let us go further together. Thank you so much, everybody. Till next time.